And there will no action be taken from the closed session. Did I do it right? I don't know if I'd go that far.
So HHS is having a get together today, and the director just sent me a message that the committee is invited to go upstairs and eat
So,
now. See now, she's
Food?
well,
By
with
invite only.
HHS said,
Seems awfully sussy.
Here we go.
On the size of budget day.
isn't it? Maybe we should order pizza.
Kind of like when I ordered pizza for the girls on the last tax collection day.
So
Oh, that's interesting how that's like that too.
before we get too chatty here, is that, did everybody have a consensus that they'd like to take a lunch break?
Yeah.
We're looking at like a time frame. We're looking at a 30-minute recess.
Let's come back at 1.
We want a consensus?
The chair could announce that.
Well, I know,
Come
but
back at 1. You're announcing.
all right, we'll be back at 1 p.m. Recess until then.
We're at recess now.
Recess now. You never.
Are you going upstairs?
Yeah.
It's,
Hey, don't be pointing at me like that.
just second floor.
Yeah. What'd you say, Connie?
I'm gonna use the restroom, but I think I'm gonna put up there. Is that what everyone else is doing? Or mostly.
It's up.
Okay. What are you gonna do?
I'm hungry.
You know, every night is different.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I get a good night. We'll sleep on it.
I'm not gonna stay.
Are you?
Yeah, so right now hospice comes on Monday and Thursday.
You wanna do?
I was just informed. I didn't realize it was broken up into
I
two.
can have them. So right now I just looked at things and feel like. Beyond
I didn't
that.
know, just panic there.
Hospice.
What all they got there?
Well, I've got some free air. Which is the Hammond.
Right there?
And I,
Over there.
who else is? For Tuesday or Thursday of next week to sign documents.
Okay.
For the raid.
Walking over there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I am.
I can. Yeah, just to.
You can.
Tuesday, I planned on coming.
Okay, then
So-
we can set that. up.
Yeah, send me.
I'm waiting for him to get back. Okay,
So.
well, no, there, I think. Bill is already.
It was Mitch. That was session, correct? No.
Or something. Oh, I don't know
Yeah.
anything about that.
That's what's on it.
We got.
No, I got stuff. I got to finish it again.
Good figure.
What?
This one would only be
Well, okay, I know you're.
earliest with
They're access till 1 per month, but
Okay.
been suggested
They come by you.
stuff.
so we'll have to pull up their budgets. Probably from this.
This point.
Oh, yeah. So this is thinking. It's up here, but not up there. But.
Oh, my land.
So you can use this thing?
Alright. That's what.
Yeah. Yes, so this is. Connected to. Oh, yeah. I think go up there. Jeez. If you move it's like a second screen.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
From like shootings, we didn't. Actually, we use the. There's usually used, and then be working on that. So, but this.
You drive. In my brain, I'm in our drive. I'm like, where did they go?
I'm not sure why those two. I don't know. Who one of them. So purpose. I.
Are you kidding me? Is he on today?
Are you kidding me?
Email.
Like, what did I say?
I got here. Well, I was already done with my lunch by the time you sent that, but I got here. Sections. I was standing out there waiting, getting here early to get set up and everything, and then they go into reset. Oh. Just.
How do you do up here?
And then making changes there. Because that's really where we want them to go. Here's our first one. Our treasure. Yeah.
Like,
Sent.
oh,
That's okay.
Question, Scott.
Sure.
And when we have the invoice list and so on, is there a way to look at the individual invoices?
Yeah, you should have access to My Viewpoint. It's a web-based program that we use for our accounts payable.
Don't.
Right.
Where would that be?
They should. Oh, and maybe you haven't been set up yet because they didn't know they're supposed to set you up. I don't have access, but, see, I can probably have to look at,
I mean, I have the committees folder. Is it not there or is it somewhere else?
I tell.
hold on, Tanya's gonna look to see if you're set up.
Like I'm 100%.
Yeah,
Okay. Administration.
Is that something I need to go up to IT?
no, she has she has admin.
Sometimes
probably-
I just have a question and I might get the answer easier just by looking at it than
Right, yeah.
asking.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons why we went to web-based for this program versus server-based, so that it helps some of our departments that can't get on our server, like the DA's office and clerk of circuit courts, because they're on the state servers. So it helps them, and then also so that county board members could get on there too at home or wherever. We weren't limited to being here.
That's not through the VPN.
Nope, you wouldn't need VPN for it.
Just need
Internet.
username, pass.
Yeah, you just need internet and yeah. So she's. His
Yeah, and
should be our reason. I would think.
FREEMAN.
Yep.
just like it sounds.
Yeah, you started after Jamie left, so I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
Hey, this one, sorry.
When she gets done with this, you should get an email to set up.
Okay.
You probably.
There's Wallace.
Um,
Well, that's,
I was looking for her, but she never had. Is it just the finance people that get access to it or everybody?
thought it was everybody. Look, trying to think. Look at Jerry Billy. Undershoots, isn't it? Jim Myers.
Way to go like this,
He was assigned to the
yeah.
group users.
Was it only if they inquired it too? Was it?
I don't know.
Oh, Still
Oh,
Terry and John.
John Anderson. Yeah. See, he wasn't on finance. Oh, that was our SEP way that we had in our office for a little while. Stacy Zimmer, he's gone, but I don't think he was on finance either. So maybe that's it. Maybe.
Because there's not a lot.
Right.
Scheme of things.
Did the email come through?
I did, I'm just in the process of setting it up.
Yeah, and when you have it set up, let me know. I can show you where you can go to find invoices. Right on there. Yeah, there it is. Yep. Okay. Oh, now when I use it, when I use this for, it wasn't too. Rather have it the same screen. I feel like that. So I don't know if it focus this. Because you scroll and change tabs and stuff, and that's gonna be difficult. Okay, so display. And I'm assuming that he will be going over, I don't know. They're gonna be
Cause I'm in.
So you don't have a lot of access, so it helps, so you don't get
All I'm-
lost.
Yeah, all I'm looking
So,
for is
yep,
read only.
so you click on that. And then vendor invoice lookup. And then, so here you can enter in a vendor.
Okay, so if I wanted to see Baker Tilly. Is it one word?
Oh, it comes up. So you select that, yep, and then you have to click search. It doesn't just automatically start the search for you.
So,
Okay, so he searched Baker Tilly and we have invoices. He's not getting anything. I don't know what,
does it need
it would be,
a range of dates?
no, it would be, your access. So something is up with the settings of that group access that.
So if I,
I'm gonna guess you're not gonna be able to see anything right now, like,
okay,
So, I mean, think I need to be changing the user.
So it'll be. No, it's gonna be the GL. So this is a. It's saying that this not. But that's revenues, but here's the expense. Okay. I'm guessing. I'm guessing that we're looking, we don't have very many county board members that are set up, and I'm gonna guess that none of them actually use it, so. We've
Well,
never realized that it doesn't work.
it doesn't work or it's just not set
Set
up.
up.
It's the way it's set up. I'm thinking that is.
Because to me, it would be useful because I have these questions. It's rather than asking you to say, I've got questions on these 10 invoices. Well, if I can look at it before the meeting, then I answer the question.
So you gotta, close that. I don't know what
Well,
that's.
I just wanted to keep that account.
Oh, but that's what it keeps going to.
Oh, you know what? I don't think I'm connected to anything. That's my problem. I can't think I can get to this up. I can't get in. I don't know.
Okay, let's see.
There's something else that I can be. It's 51551. It's office supplies. Sure. I can't get into my emails. Is there something that blocks? No, like, or just because I'm only on the guest. I don't,
Oh, yes. No, you should have the other one.
but I don't know.
Oh, automatic.
Yeah, I would think if,
Yeah, mine.
Okay.
Now you should be able, yeah, guests don't limit you on. So I don't know why we have that. Yeah,
would I need to exit?
because actually the range here skips that. And I do that with that revenue.
Would I need to exit?
You might after we save this,
Okay, I'll just get out.
that not. Range skip. No reason for that. That may take a little while.
In the other funds because there might be something. Or
Oh, but they are, because it goes from 100 to 99999. So it's all included. It's weird.
I just hit refresh and it,
You hit refresh and now you see something?
yeah.
but I'm not even done saving.
So then click on search.
Thought I did it.
So that,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
if you click on anything that's blue, you can click on, so if you click on like the
Sure.
invoice number there,
Like this one.
okay? And then these are the attachments. So that one I'm guessing is the invoice, so you click on that. And what's nice is it opens it in a new window for you, so you can go back here and you can open a
Sure.
couple of them.
Multiple windows.
Yep.
Okay.
So. And then there's also other ways you can search. You know, by keyword, by an invoice number. Yeah. There are some instructions, I believe, on the Z drive of how to do things in Mindview.
Yeah, mainly the way I would use it is when I get the list of the invoices for the committee.
Yep.
And I
Yeah,
say,
you'll have the,
what is this one? You know,
Mhm.
obviously the descriptions are good and so on, but sometimes it's like, I wonder what that invoice
Yeah.
is all about.
the descriptions only show so many characters,
Right.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's exactly what I do. I use my viewpoint in the middle of the meeting. If someone has a question, I'll go to that invoice and bring it up so I can see what it is. So I do the same thing.
right. Yeah,
I'm going to give you a new budget for animal control. Gotta reconnoiter this right now, quick.
so, yeah.
Shoot. I-
So that'd be the check, just tells you the payment information.
Oh, that's a check.
Yep.
Did-
And so this screen, all of these are approved. Here, you can click on that too and it'll show you things that are in workflow that
So,
accounts payable hasn't approved yet.
Okay.
So,
so,
but everything on those payment approval reports will be approved. So they should be in this one, because they only show up. Been approved, so,
okay, so if it's been approved but just not paid, it would
It'll-
have a check number.
yeah, it won't have a check number. Yep.
Okay. But part of it not work. Do I need to hit?
Not sure. I'll use
Just
that
the
for,
calendar year payment to vendor?
yeah,
Just be a summary of.
yeah, I know you use that part. You could click on this and see what it. I'm not sure how that part works. I never
Well,
use it.
I guess I can. Apparently I can print.
So that'd be for that portion down here. Up here is where you can print PDF or export to Excel.
So this is just exporting
Yep,
this list.
yep, that part, yep.
Obviously.
And then this one
Down.
here, the column chooser. And columns that you,
And watch and then you eat that.
not everything is. Not everything that you think of will be a column that they give you, so.
Oh, is there something else you wanted to tell me too?
Would also follow the.
Well-
invoice,
I'll come over there. Hmm.
Nope.
I change his budget.
If you open up the invoice, you'll be able to see those notes.
So if I,
Actually, it'd be here, right there and click on any one of the. Here's the notes, yeah. There's not much for notes. This is the workflow, so put it in. Then, and then the approvals after that, so. There's usually not a lot of notes.
It's their technology fee.
Oh, there's.
Good. Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, I, this is times, so I'm just gonna say we're gonna start this one. Just. Well, I guess that's gonna get shot down anyhow, so. Okay, okay.
He's where you want to take.
Does that make sense? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 3%. Right now, I hear that is not in here. It's already. I'm gonna save that. Sky, if I give you the new budget, I bring it over and you can load it down.
Not able to email it to me.
Oh, yeah, okay, I guess I can email it to you or try. Okay, now let's see. I think. Okay, so this is this one. Okay. I know it's gonna get shut down. We gotta do something. So this was saved. I saved it, right? Okay. Here we go. Okay, let's see. Okay, everything did.
Like this whole place is full of.
I did under my. Okay,
You sit here next to Terry so you can slap him up.
Nope, I prefer not to. Sounded good.
and I. Guy, what is? Go through email.
Let's go there too and go to that.
I got a reply. I'll get it together to you, give it to you tomorrow. Yeah, no,
Your thing is so weird.
I just wanted you to know. That Ron guy, he's kind of a smart guy.
What's that?
I said, that Ron guy, he's kind of. I'm saying that to you.
So.
Okay, I'm going back to my side.
Well, I was thinking.
What I need to do.
Do the checks next time, because Linda, she's got her social security. She's in.
I got a second.
We gotta go back and. get,
Monitor if I need
Social
it.
security out and go check your $50. She.
What did I,
happy to-
Like, and
We're
we're
just charged to.
I don't know, I did a payroll check, didn't I?
I don't.
Yeah, I'm
well,
pretty
you-
sure I
but-
did.
But there was nothing withheld. So that,
All right,
and
I'll
then,
look at
do,
that.
do you know, I know you haven't, but with Vince, we'd like to get that straightened out with WRS. That's,
That's how many here for the coming.
okay,
I had to
because are we current with WRS?
No, because I have to go back and do like March, today, April, tomorrow, May.
I have my dog
day.
language.
So
But,
by the end of the month, we should be.
so we still owe money to WRS?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then I think what happened was I
There's
gave
two
an
grants I
invoice,
can
but
put
now I
in
think
for.
we overpaid
Stuff they're asking.
because I paid an invoice.
Oh, okay.
It's-
Whatever,
It's
yeah,
all
you're-
hooked up.
yeah, yeah.
As long as we get squared by the end of the year, that's all I
Yeah,
have.
money again for my department.
Because I think they're gonna owe us money back.
What was his money?
If you live in the town of Flambeau, sure. I do. I love WRS.
Talking about you.
I didn't do.
Donna Flam was really stingy with giving money away to people.
You got that right.
Tell the grant is to. Wait,
We like our money. We like our balances.
Oh, there he is.
That chairman, he's kind of a stickler.
That's where I was going with that.
who did we have money?
Ditches?
Yeah.
Lonnie Ross.
Ross from Cadat.
I just. Any good? Ask me, like, how am I supposed to know?
Well, the county was supposed to be out there either yesterday or today to do a second pass on Bell School Road because they start construction on Monday.
Actually, office well, but big feasibility reports came in for waste management.
Okay,
Big,
okay, for their expansion.
what,
Probably give it to me and Rich just to
okay,
like get filed with that.
get filed?
I said I would think it would probably get filed with Nick.
Well, you gotta do your budgets too.
No,
Kim, you got yours? Yours?
I forgot it. It's in my desk.
You want?
Just put it between us. I'll help you. Got new batteries. Mine has more than just no to it.
No.
Yeah, there you
Different ones.
The office? No. Rid of Toby.
go. It's gotten its use in here before.
Guide, you have your email.
Have an email from you.
Look at the extra help.
Insurance, thing,
Budget in 281.
insurance country.
I don't think so.
So either. I'm gonna-
Go up. Yeah, so keep going. Oh, you. No. Okay, was this 57? Oh, this one, outline 50. Today.
Back up on the. Roll. We back up live.
Oh, I didn't.
Has it been on the whole time or?
I'm fine, the one that says. Good.
It's 1 PM. We are back in session. Next on the agenda is number 6, property insurance contract RFP. You got some info on that?
I don't, why was this on the agenda? I don't know.
I don't know either. I kind of questioned it and I thought it,
Would be,
Yeah, no, we just got our insurance renewal for 20.
for property insurance?
All of our lines of coverage are bundled,
Okay.
like liability.
I'm wondering, Jill didn't know either. I just assumed somebody.
That's all through Wisconsin Mutual.
Wisconsin County Mutual, yeah.
So there's
It'd be a
no,
bad idea to do an RFP in the future sometime,
So
to make sure that we're,
we scheduled times with departments to do the budgets. That's why Jared's here. So is there any way that we can skip to that part?
well, we can. I started this one now. Oh, but he had an RFP listed, so no one knows what he was thinking. Was he looking to have people resubmit?
I don't know, because an RFP for our insurance coverage would be very extensive. All of our lines of coverage are bundled together,
Okay,
like even our storage tank, things like that.
so this, a bunch of business, I would think it's or something like that.
I'm not saying there wouldn't be, I'm saying that RFP would be very extensive.
okay, we have no information on it, so I'm gonna move to.
Gone.
What time do we have to, we had Forest Street scheduled now?
Yeah, we had treasurer scheduled for 12:45, forestry scheduled for 1. But,
Chris needs to give his update first.
and yeah, we wanted to do an overview before we got started.
You're behind,
These resolutions can wait. Let's see. Budget. I mean, my budget report forms are gonna take forever to hear. Yeah, we can hate bouncing back and forth once we start into budgets.
I think the
What's
general,
consensus of the committee?
budget.
You wanna do the budgets that are here right now? Is that good with you guys?
Once we begin on 16, do we have to fulfill all of 16 before we move back to the other ones? Or are we allowed to address some sub items and then move back?
It's really at the direction of the chair and if the committee is okay with moving around.
Good.
Yeah. You guys, that's why I'm asking you guys. I'm not just gonna hijack it.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, who wants to go first, treasurer? First, Jared, do you wanna go? You need to do an overview?
Yeah,
Okay, sorry. I'd like to. Go ahead.
Great, thank you. I hope everyone had a nice lunch. Just wanted to give a brief overview of the fiscal 26 budget. And I think that the spreadsheet's up on the screen, right? I can't see it. But it's also in your packet. Estimated operating revenues, we first look at the operating levy at 6.6 million. Then there's the debt service levy and the ambulance levy. So the total proposed levy for fiscal 26 is 9,279,694. We also have other tax collections that's from the state primarily, and then the sales tax fund applied, which is 1.2 million, which is set at the same level as fiscal 25. You know that we reviewed the sales tax report year to date earlier in the committee meeting, and it is trending higher. So that's good news. The department revenues, you have general government at about 2.5 million, public safety 338, public works 2.6 million, health and human services 4.4, culture, recreation, education at 68,000. Conservation development 3.6, ambulances is 1.2 million, interest on the debt service. So it brings the total department to 14.9 million. And each one of those numbers will then be in detail in each one of the departments' budgets, but we just wanted to give you a total overview. So that brings total projected revenues for fiscal 26 of 27,704,502. Then when you look at the estimated expenditures in total, so this is not net levy, because I know that we always talk about the impact on the levy, but we wanted to give kind of like an overall total. The estimated expenditures for general government are 5.3 million, public safety 5.4, public works 4.6, health and human services 6.3 million, culture, recreation, and education 654,000, conservation development about 4 million. Then we have projected contingencies 200,000, equipment fund 25,000, other tax collection expenses 4,800, ambulance of 2 million, and then debt service of 1.979. So the total operating expenditures projected is 30.5 million. So when you look at that, you take the difference between the revenues and the operating expenses, there's a gap of about 2.8 million. Now, within the department's budgets, there are planned uses of fund balances in either the restricted funds or those general fund restricted to the departments. As of now, it's about 564,000. So that brings the gap to 2,259,000 in change. Last year, well, this current year, I keep saying last year, but for fiscal 25, there is a general fund balance use of 1,242,729. So if that same level is used for fiscal 26, then the gap to close is $1,016,507. And just a few notes, because I know that your first question is, well, how do we get to that gap? First of all, talking about revenues, as I said, sales tax is at 1.2 million. Current collections are trending higher through May. Don't forget there's a 2-month lag there by about $92,000 when compared to the current budget. And so that's positive. Investment income for fiscal 26 is currently set at $350,000. That's a decrease of $150,000 from the fiscal 25 estimate. Other tax collections is primarily from the state, decreased $77,000 due to decreased shared revenue and transfer from deductible funding. So while those aren't all the changes, and we'll go through all the details department by department, I wanted to at least talk about the major changes that we see as we built this budget. On the expenditure side, the current inflation rate is about 2.7%. So of course, that'll impact the department's non-personnel spending. The proposed budget does include $330,000 in the public works highway budget. That was the amount that was reduced in fiscal 25 as part of a cut that was added back to this proposed budget in fiscal 26. The HHS proposed budget has increased about 201,000 over the prior year budget due to not utilizing fund balance in the proposed budget, and so that's the primary. And again, we can look at the details there. And then on the expenditure side, the COLA for general employees is included in the proposed budget of about 239,000. So that's kind of like an overview of all the big changes. But again, the process is then going to be to look at these numbers department by department and work through the process to try to get to a balanced budget. So if anyone has any questions, or we could go to the department budgets, the idea was to at least give kind of a 40,000 foot overview of kind of what you're working with here for fiscal 26.
Anybody have any questions on that?
The COLA was based on a 3% raise.
Yes.
Thank you. Whatever you did, stop. I'm ringing.
Yeah, and it's not on the wrong speaker, sorry.
Just so I'm clear here, this is my first go around. When we talked towards the end about using the general fund budget and that being $1.3 million, that is also us losing money, right? So we're at a position where we need to close a gap of about $1.1 million, but we also are assuming we're accepting a gap of $1.3 million. That's our baseline.
Yes. The overage is about 2.3 million. And then being consistent from fiscal 25, the use of that 1.2 million of fund balance, the gap is then to $1 million. But there is, I think what you're speaking to is a structural balance issue, the money coming in versus the money going out.
Thank you, Chris.
Sure.
Numbers don't lie. Any more questions for Chris? Otherwise, we'll move into specific budgets. Okay, go ahead with who you got. Eric, you want to mark 3 up?
I'm fine with whatever. Yeah.
It's, go ahead. Well, we'll start with you. You.
In the Z, are these folder 3?
If I'm looking at the right ones, 2026 budgets, forestry should be listed.
But in the Z drive, there's like,
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
I would assume it's number 3, right?
3, proposed to the finance committee.
That's a good thing. We don't want of us bumping the wrong thing when we're in here right now.
So, most of this you can see, we're on the forestry budget, my first one. Most of it's the same request as last year. Bumped the working supplies back up to 10,000 instead of 4. Added in 8,000 in equipment for ATV purchase. We are selling an old junk one this year. Place that with the 8,000. I guess jump right into what we could cut here. And over already. Yeah. I think we could get by without an extra 4-wheeler. Crafty personnel, where people are working, we can get what we have running right now. And working supplies, last year we dropped it down 4,000, so I think we could probably get by with that again. And then in the timber sales expense, a large expense out of there this year was $13,000 for beaver control contract with APHIS. Was able to get a hold of wildlife guy, Phil, if you remember. He's comfortable with using 6,000 of the habitat. It's 9,000 total. By total contract. So we could delete 6,000 from that line. Okay. Yeah, pay that 6,000 out of the Habitat money, which is a grant.
Take it out of the timber field expense, Jared. Bring it to that one. Okay.
Yeah, it's 44,521 currently. You got a cut, you can cut 6 there. First and foremost, that's the easiest one because it's going to be covered by that grant. And 6,000 off working supplies. Match this year's budget. And the ATV 8,000.
Mine is the ATV.
That's equipment.
But,
Third from
11.
Where are you gonna,
Uh,
need a,
forestry dash equipment.
take the whole thing out?
Yeah.
They start the meeting and should go.
Is there a grant somewhere somebody could use for your ATV or probably not, huh?
Not that I know. Like I said, I think we'll be okay without that machine. There is also an opportunity potentially later this year to get it replaced on this year's budget.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of major items, at least in the 610 spreadsheet, you don't have a lot of major items that we can really cut towards, right? It looks like with the voluntary submission of the ATV, right? If we remove that, your working supplies go down to 4,000, you're left with, we're asking questions about like travel and insurance, and I assume that travel is a big part of forestry because you're driving around parcel to parcel. So.
Yeah. We could save some on travel. And going to these conferences that we go to a handful of times a year, but it's
Yeah.
valuable training.
And for me, I'm loath to start doing that because one of the few things that we can offer are the ability to go to conferences, maintain professional associations and things like that.
I think it's pretty important for us.
So do we get to go through each one of these lines, 610 through 660?
yeah, we need to go through each one of them.
Before we leave 610, I have a question. The stumpage revenue, I see that year to date, it's at about $1 million. And then of course you have to take off the 11%. Can we talk about the $1 million estimate for fiscal 26? Is there a change to a program? Because I see that 24 was at 1.8 million and you're trending 1.3 in 25.
Softer markets with,
Yeah.
timber sales right now.
Okay,
I
thank you.
mean, you could squeak up the timber sale revenue expectation, but I wouldn't feel comfortable doing it.
Okay,
We've been working through old timber sales that are higher stumpage rate. Our contracts are 4 years, so we're having a lot of wood cut that's more expensive than what we're selling it for currently.
And there's sales that aren't getting bid out, so we're exhaling them or they're being left sold as well, so. Projection for sale revenue isn't like. Feel comfortable bumping it up.
okay, thank you.
What we're kind of looking at going.
And you're estimating that fairly conservatively, right? So if we get surprised, it would be to the upside.
Yeah, we don't want to, when you budget revenues, you don't want to, say,
Um,
I believe we'll continue to hit 1 million for at least the next couple of years. Based on what we have on the books. Good question for me, Ashley.
Yeah, I guess I have the same question Chris does. If we're looking back at the last 5 years, if we're confident we're gonna hit 1 million again. I'm not saying put it at 1 million, stay conservative, but is keeping it at 890 really realistic? Why have we returned to the general fund in the last 5 years? It's typically because of stumpage. I mean, unless there's something coming down the pike where the markets are just gonna come out and crash.
This used to be a lot lower, if I remember right. We brought it up a little bit more realistic. I think we were trying to stay in that 75-ish%, but if I remember, it was like down around 50 at best.
and the cutting plan is a multi-year plan, right? Like it's like a 5-year plan, something. We know how many acres we're gonna cut, all that. I don't know, forestry isn't my business, but I would assume that's
Yeah,
pretty.
The acreage is fairly stable, yeah. The recon system gives us 3,000 or so acres per year to hopefully establish timber sale on. Sometimes it's not actually ready. Sometimes you find stuff that's not scheduled that is, but
For the most part, it's stable year to year.
it's fairly stable, but the prices are very volatile.
Yeah, because everybody went out and cut wood this spring. Other,
So that's tricky. I don't have the numbers right now of what we have on the book sold, ready to cut. I think it's gotta be around $6 million sitting there, sold, ready to cut. 4-year contracts. A few years ago, like 5 years ago, we would sell every spring, our estimated value of our sale would be over 1 million, and every fall our estimated value was also over 1 million. If that would have continued, you could assume we were gonna make 2 million a year. Well below 1 million usually on our.
seems like a puzzle piece.
Yeah.
So for the purpose of this committee, again, it's my first time through. Are we responsible then for column I proposed by finance? Dropping in those values to like get rid of the ATV and stuff?
Yeah.
And that's you that's doing that because you've got it locked for editing, or who makes those
Well,
adjustments?
typically Sky or
Sky
Tony
would do
would
it.
handle that.
Someone from finance department will adjust as we go through. Excuse me.
Yeah, so basically that's done.
Um,
Those cuts.
Yeah, you guys kind of need to direct.
Yeah, you need to tell us
Yeah.
to do that, not,
Mhm.
So row 39, account number ending in 811, forestry equipment. Requested $8,000. Proposed by finance is $0.
Okay.
The other one.
It was a supply ones up. It was a supply one that he was good with. That was above it.
Yeah, so line 35, account number ending in 349, from 10,000 to 4,000. Proposed by finance.
Dang.
I think the other one on 610, is this when do we talk about personnel? I'm not sure I'm anticipating any changes, but I do know that they're on this spreadsheet. Is that something we covered today or not?
Well, there's
Well, because there's a little worksheet down here with personnel on it. Do we need to say, yes, we agree or don't agree or like that?
and this,
All we could do is make a recommendation to personnel. But finance cannot cut positions.
How many positions is finance attrition so far? Maybe not personnel.
Not good, Blake. You're not pigeonholing me. The one night I wasn't there. Everything has passed, I believe. We do have zoning technician right now on hold,
Possibly one,
possibly.
8 months. Sarcastic, I did not mean very well.
We're slow starters,
All right.
but we're a team. Mhm.
So should we move on to 611?
Oh, yeah, the other one would be taking 6,000 off the timber sales expense.
What
What
number?
line is that?
What was that again?
17?
217.
The Beaver contract?
Oh, yeah, yeah, the, we have like that.
To what?
So that would be 38,521.
Said that that would come out of Habitat then?
Yeah, when we get the bill, we'll have to split a portion of it will still come out of this.
Which tab is Habitat?
Mhm.
Page number.
Page number?
Yeah.
No. Either 181 6116 is the,
So we will have to add 6,000 to,
I already have that budgeted for 9,000.
so it'll be part of that 9,000.
Correct. Which, yes, yes. Thanks.
Jared, what's, 225 there, forestry communications? I see you're over this year, but then you dropped it for next year, just one short, but does that entail? You got a budget this year for 3815.
You had a comment of, I
Yeah.
think, no truck radios.
Hoping to get rid of our truck radios and get other truck radios that do not have a monthly fee.
We just discussed this. I don't know if it worked for you. We just discussed that highway. They're having trouble with their radio. I don't remember what it all entailed, but I want to talk to Justin. Maybe the two of you can work something out together. I don't know if it'd be beneficial to you or not.
We're looking at something on there are a lot of talks with Justin as well as sheriffs. Looks like we could jump onto the fire emergency channel. There you go.
Fire channel, yep.
Fire channel. We're not gonna use these for day-to-day discussion or anything. That's gonna be for emergency, stranded or stuck or injured. So just go straight to dispatch or whatever, the fire channel.
Yeah, and I believe that's the same channel the medical examiner is on as well.
Fire channels should be where that they don't work everywhere.
Nothing.
What's that?
I said the fire channels don't work everywhere.
No, well, they're part of the simulcast upgrade.
Okay, so, wow, but that's just radio to radio. That's, oh yeah, but we added more repeaters. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, how good they'll be, but they're bound to be better. He struggles. Better or the same.
Do you anticipate doing the same amount of speech, I guess, going forward? In the next couple, 3 years, looking forward?
Yep.
I mean, for a forestry plan, I mean, I guess I should say.
Yeah, the allowable cut's gonna stay the same. We're gonna continue to set the same acreage.
Okay.
Depends on pricing. We did drop our minimums again here a couple months ago. We have a base minimum rate that we base every timber sale on, and we've dropped it every year for the last 5 years. And what the minimum is basically the lowest value that we're willing to sell wood for. Be able to sell it on a bid, then we can direct sell it for one price. Interested party.
So a quick review, what are the line numbers again that you've changed on this one? Like you did, count number 225, I'm sorry, 217 is changed to 38,521.
Yes.
And what's the next one?
349. Changed to 4,000.
Okay,
And 811. Changed to 0.
thank you.
This one looks pretty straightforward. Requesting nothing and we're gonna propose nothing here.
State aid forestry? Correct. What we have on this year was finishing up a grant that we had.
You guys good with moving on to 612?
Yep.
All right, any other questions on this one?
Like we're spending twice what we're taking in for forestry road aid here. Is that what I'm reading?
What are you looking at?
I'm just looking at the overall. So it says forest road aid
Oh.
maintenance. We're gonna expend $13,000, but we only get back from the state $8,000.
Yeah, there's some fund balance there that we'll probably end up using up. Sure. I have some quick stats on road aids if you guys are curious.
What is the? I guess there is a fund balance there. You said 6,196, so that's that $5,000 already covered. We don't have to address it. We're burning down that account.
Plan is to burn down that account. If I did my math right.
Have $1,000 at the end of the year. Sure.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I see.
No.
13. 613. Just curious about county forest roads.
613?
You won't get much.
Get really confused about the details.
Okay.
Yeah, like what is this $3,300 for? The land acquisition?
Someone say 613.
Yeah.
I don't know what that number, where that's from,
Oh,
so I can't keep up with you guys.
Okay, so 613 first line. So that we have a fund balance there in case we want to buy property and put it in the forest program, but there's also a property that we pay the taxes on, right? That we
Yep.
spend the 3,300 on.
Yep, it's an annual property tax on a life estate that we have. When the occupant dies, that property will be ours entirely. Plan is to roll it into county forest. So this account receives 1% of timber sale revenue annually. Remember back on the forestry tab, there was 1% reduction on the revenue to land acquisition. Find a parcel of property that's advantageous to own that we have an opportunity to buy, we can use this money. We can also access Knowles Nelson stewardship funds to double our money if they get 50-50 cost share grant, which we have done in the past. It's nice to hold some money here. Bill mentioned maybe changing how we do this. It looks to me like there's enough in there to pay them property taxes for several years. Still have something to match 50-50 grant on some property. Not sure what it takes to change that 1% going in here, maybe a resolution. I don't know if the board wants to do that or not.
It was brought to the board by a resolution. The forestry department at that point. Would probably have to.
That's how it was in the future. You know, I mean, we already got 80,000 acres or whatever. Need to keep purchasing more. Yeah, so we could put that to other uses, but maybe in a further discussion later down the road.
Yeah, so this sounds like a full board
Yeah.
deal. I can see the advantages either way. Yeah. The advantages either way. But moving money that we save to acquire things is not knowing the history is never something I like to do.
Yeah, and that'd be a future down the road.
It's a pretty low stakes. Sure, right here. I'm comfortable moving on from 613 if you guys are.
On conservation aids,
What does conservation aids cover again?
these are 50-50 cost share grants that we get through the state of Wisconsin for small projects. Typically one per year. Counties allotted a certain amount of money. Our project total is 4,904. Half of that would come from our line fund and half would come from the state.
It looks like you've only proposed to spend what you're getting from the grants in this case, so no impact to levy
Well, zero levy, correct?
or levy.
15.
Automobile budget.
This is almost all grant funded budget. See at the bottom, there's some levy related to some small amount of salary and
That's just allocation, because that person's already employed doing other stuff, right?
do not know when we pull out of this account to pay a wage. Looks like we've done that for $108 this year. It's that decision.
Park Supervisor Mike salary.
Yep.
So if we pulled that out of there, that would go then back into,
Parks budget.
yes, where the majority of his wages are.
Why is it broken out in the first place? You need to document time, receive these no trail maintenance grants or something, or monies.
I don't know why it's broken out. I'll tell you this, you spend way more time than what this counts for. So.
And I think literally just to show that, demonstrate that we're working on the trails perhaps. I don't know that there's a thing we can cut here either though.
No, I mean, the only thing above the grants is the wages, and the wages are gonna get paid no matter what, right? Whether it's out of, whether we put them here, or we put them in, or whatever.
The wages here and in parks are levy.
These are levy, the 1432, and this one is the levy.
Right, yeah, the wages here.
Yeah.
The rest of it is grant covered, so
One of Parks and Rec.
no, in this budget. Parks and
Okay.
Rec.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I think it's a stab at accounting for the time plowing trails, or at least acknowledging that we're,
Do you have to have an employee from your department doing work for the snowmobile grants in order to receive those grants? Yes. Is that why?
Be my
I would
guess.
assume someone has to.
Speaking of this, there's a program that, uploads automatically, so that's gotta be turned in, reconciled with you guys, right?
But I'm talking, does a county employee have to perform work in order to get those grants? The county employee is not covered by the grants.
The employee does the work to get the grants, otherwise you're not gonna get the grants. Every year,
I don't think that's what the time is. That's,
Are you saying that this is Mike's time for filling out the?
could be Heidi's as well. Heidi does the administration part of it. Like,
Scroll down, it says Mike.
yeah, there's no Heidi line.
So it is the parks manager?
It is the parks
Okay.
manager. Yep. If you, like, you can see from over there, like,
Right, I believe you.
I'm not sure I understand your question, other than someone has to do it.
yeah, no, it's,
The county and the state, it is a county.
We're just more wondering if it had to show up in that line, his wages, or if we could just get rid of those lines and put
Right,
them.
move it into the
Under-
parks.
Yeah, cause it didn't make a difference, but
I could ask that question.
so yeah, I was just wondering if we need to show that there are wages going to that in order to get your grant funding.
that's a good,
are you receiving some of the money from the grant fund to cover that? That's my.
if there's not a reason for one of our grants today, what's to say that next year they don't wanna see like your wages for that for the last couple of years, cause a specific grant. That's something, I mean, it's probably not the worst to just have it separate.
I don't see any reason to make a change. That, just other than organization. It's good to keep it out, keep it the way it is, so we don't make mistakes next year.
That's going to 616.
616 looks good.
Pretty cut and dry there.
1,000 and 9,000 out.
617.
Similar to snowmobile, this is all grant. The maintenance is done by clubs, and we are middleman routing the money from the state to the clubs.
Hold it. What's the
I just-
36,000 there on the rehab development, 810? That just kind of appear from. There's nothing appropriated, but then
Yeah.
it's something for something he did.
Zach?
It ended up on a. What was that?
Yeah, that's the Kozak. At least that's the note you had on there.
And similar to the last one, you had some wages. 2024 actual, we didn't have any actual wages in 2025. Does that jeopardize these grants? Thing like that?
And I don't know. I'll ask the grant specialist at the state.
Because then we would just have to move numbers from what the parks budget over to this and reallocate a little. This is all state money, right?
Correct.
So in a sense, though, this is another question. So if I'm reading this correctly, it's flowing through us. But for the time put into it, maybe you're not allowed to bill anything for the employees that participate in it.
Well, it's the clubs that are doing it, right? Not the employees.
Well, the maintenance is all club, shouldn't say all. Once in a while, there is something that with the club, we end up doing for maintenance, like having highway do, and then we pay highway out of the maintenance line, or the project works below that. We manage those projects and those are routed through us to either highway or contractors that we.
This one's a little confusing to me too. It's the state aid trail development part. Was appropriated 331,000. This first 6 months is 456, but then we're estimated to be at 331,000 for the year.
Because that'll match, the Bucks Lake Trail Development expenses and any, excess revenue that we have, we will defer to the following year.
Something came back in there to offset that.
Yeah, we get basically a prepayment, advance payment on the grants.
Yeah.
If it's 50% or 80% total project, then that project might take 3 or 4 years to get done, so we gotta keep bumping that money down the road.
Very good with that one, 618.
Gravel crushing balance.
So this money is there for when we have to crush a bunch of gravel for a future project, and then we backfill this account by paying ourselves the crushing cost from, say, like a grant. The trail grants sometimes, but we haven't done it for a few years because highway is now more in control of those gravel pits that are on the county forest. Well, they've paid for the crushing up front there.
You have them all now, don't
And
you?
then we pay them crushing cost as they haul it and bill us.
You didn't forestry transfer them all to the highway?
Yes.
Yeah, they're.
Yeah, that's right.
Highway now owns and maintains those, pits, and yes. We, need to have the material crushed for forestry, and then we'll charge them, price per ton.
Yeah, let's go to 619. Still zeros. Someday there's gonna be more zeros in the carbon credits.
Right, we eventually get to pay some bills with this, hopefully.
Every year, bring it up, get excited by it.
Yeah, can we?
I'm gonna bite this here.
Station on it.
Tim's trying to poke me over here.
If there are no questions, we can move on to Parks and Recreation. This one, I have $20,000 down on line, what is it, 810?
15.
Oh, yeah, I didn't tell you. I told my committee, though, I bumped it up to 20.
Thanks.
After getting some estimates from Tractor Central on lawnmowers, this would be another opportunity to put 20 grand. think we could probably get through another year with the mowers we have.
Line 22, account ending in 249.
Oh, we're looking at
And 32,
32.
32.
the last three digits of the account number.
810.
Yes, and you're gonna see 15,000, but he's saying now he bumped it to 20,000.
And then proposed by finance is $0.
We'll get through another year. Hopefully.
Now you'll be back in front of the board asking for
Right.
lawnmower money.
It's July, we'll need a mower real bad.
Okay. What is extra help in the wages? Do you guys have to hire?
That's our summer workers, yeah, interns, whatever you want to call them. We used to hire 3 each year. Cuts last year, this summer, we only had 2. It never quit raining, so it was mostly all lawn mowing this year. They're minor work, but yeah, that's our summer workers.
That's gonna be fun. It'll be fun.
And with the summer workers, they're both good and they may return, so they'll both have a $1 raise, so we probably should squeak that up just in case.
You've been so generous by forfeiting your lawnmower, maybe we could to give them a raise.
Well, that's part of
Well,
policy, isn't it, a dollar?
Yeah, if they come back to get a $1 raise.
Yeah, so I mean,
Yeah,
that's not really
it's in a
negotiable.
policy.
So that bumps it from 18,000 to 19,200.
Okay, so row 10, account number ending in 121, proposed by finance. Was that 19,200?
Just that's Terry on that.
What?
19,200. You're quiet over there.
Just looking at the ones that,
Don't bother.
has been a big job.
Hit a big ones.
If we hire different people, if they don't return, they'll be paid 15 as new employees.
If we're expecting.
I think we should. They're both good kids, good workers.
Anything else there?
Yeah, the leased equipment I moved up. 1,000 from 1,000. Just so you're aware.
That's an as needed though, right? It's not, you're not,
Line 31, 530. Least equipment.
What's staying at 5,000? He's staying,
That's what he was talking about. He did bump it up.
bumping it up to 6.
2.5
2.5 from,
from 1. Last year was.
He
It
was
did at
just-
5.
He was just pointing out that it's a,
It's 5,000 right now. Want to make it 2,500? Is that what he's saying?
We went from 1,000 to 5,000.
I'm sorry, I'm looking at the thing here proposed by finance, it's 5,000.
Yeah, I was just pointing that out.
Okay,
Last year's budget was less.
you're making it 2,500.
No, 5,000.
is there a reason for the bump up that we demonstrate?
Yeah, now again, finally, we do have a guy now with the CDL who can haul that.
Okay.
So if we've got some projects to do in the parks, comes in really handy for spreading a load of gravel where we might need it or something like that. Use their skid steer. We're allowed to by their highway commissioner.
Doesn't mean he's gonna spend it.
Have went up. Three, three, two.
Yeah, travel's squeaking up. 24 actual was 13.5. I mean, we could certainly take that 5,000 and cut it. Usually the one, like the 610 that we have there, that was broken out of a bill for installing the docks. Use a skid steer for some of our docks. Would like a little in there. If we go from 5 down to 2,000, so there's something to play with at least.
And
5:30.
Correct. 530.
but you wouldn't have estimated 5,000 unless you anticipated some kind of skid steer work to happen next year.
Yeah, I mean, we get complaints all the time about
I don't know that this is,
boat landings and various things that need a load of gravel and spread.
I don't know that I want to skewer this particular budget item. Because it's one that we're not guaranteed to spend. It's also one where I think that we could, if we cut it, then have to go through the resolution cycle or bring them back in front of the finance committee, give them an extra $2,000 to redo something.
Well, how much do we gotta cut?
We got a lot to cut, and I don't know that this $3,000 is gonna.
Or if we drop it by 2 or 3. I'd be pretty happy with that as well.
We're saying for 31, number ending in 530. It was by finance 3,000.
I mean, you hate to feel like you're nickel and dime and everything, but
We're gonna have to nickel.
that's how we have to do. Luckily, he's doing most of the nickel and diming on his budget.
It only behooves him. Like,
We only have to do this 1,000 more times and we'll be there almost where it goes.
You ready to move on to?
It is 10,000.
I'm ready. I
2,000.
don't know. Are you guys ready to move on to 623?
Okay.
We go to the next one?
Yeah, if Jared's ready to go to it.
I'm ready.
And this is the, was it Hills Park Improvement thing?
Park Development Fund. The fund balance there. 3,797. Capital Improvement Plan. I'm not married to at all, but we have on there for 2026 paving at Murphy Pavilion and at Josie Creek. Murphy Pavilion, 32,000, Josie Creek. Cut off there, but 54,000 total in paving. And then some campsite upgrades at Josie Creek for 10,000, which totals 64,000. Yeah, so we're gonna follow this capital improvement plan at all. Those will be some upgrades. No impact to levy. That, and then we'll delete that fund balance, which might not be desirable either.
Right now, you don't have anything. Yeah. Maybe on some of those, we might get.
Tried to this year. Yeah, there's possibility for a cost share grant on some of that.
Is this also the line item that when we came up, when we had that, the finance meeting where we allocated? This is not the one that used to come up under finance that now comes up under forestry.
This is a different one.
This is a different.
That one's a couple more pages though.
More questions on this one? 24.
$30,000 for which? Dock replacements?
Yep.
These are both.
These would both be 50/50 cost share grants, RBF, recreational boating facilities. Your state grants.
But the remainder coming out of power.
Yes.
Find me what power line is again, guys. Power line's just, we received some money for somebody running transmission lines across the county or something like that.
We have a fund balance that's in the finance budget. We have a fund balance right now. And I'm not sure. I'd have to look up how long we'll be getting payments, but I do know that they're decreasing.
Over time. But there's plenty to cover everything that you guys got budgeted.
Yep.
Questions on this one? 60.
Wiping out another fund balance.
This would be that fund balance, I would guess.
Yeah, this is the one you were talking about.
We solved the community problem this year. Usage discrepancy.
On other things, yes. I don't see anything in my headlights that we would spend this 23,595 on. Budget for it, I can't use it if we need it. Of course, I guess if there's an emergency. Budget amendment.
Can't use it for a four-wheeler to go and check the parts, all garbage.
Probably could.
This fund was originally funded by stumpage revenue. Is that correct?
I think so.
I think so too. It wasn't that long ago.
So for a couple of years, it was an annual $75,000 went into it. 2 or 3 years, maybe it ran, and then it was cut. It's just slowly been
Yeah.
being used up. There was one year where we used I think the entire amount for our 20% of a 80-20 trail grant.
It's a long trip.
This one. Wraps it up. Where is it?
Alrighty. I think the plan should be, we go through these like we kind of have in the past, make our updates, see where we're at, when we're all said and done, and then review again. Is that kind of your thoughts, guys?
Yeah.
Is that?
Hard to cut stuff here.
It is.
It's killing me.
And he's coming in and suggesting cuts. The opposite on some of them.
We'll take care of it.
Harry, go put the hammer down on him though.
All right, thanks, Jared.
You're welcome.
We'll get them overdated and then we're done.
So I've made some adjustments to our schedule because we are behind. So we got UW extension next, and then Landcon's gonna come in here pretty quick.
Good chair would be right on time.
Somebody was hungry. Including me. That's what put us behind. All right, well, go ahead, Sky, do it in the order you want, I'm fine with it. You kind of set the schedule anyways, so
Thanks.
accommodate who you need to.
Okay, Lori, you're up.
Okay, good, thank you.
Attention.
Yes, UW extension.
It might be a little easier than.
It's a much smaller budget. And then the fair, the first tab, 513, will come back to Shar present on there. So Lori's gonna do 515 and 517.
We'll kind of go through like Jared didn't tell us where to cut.
I think I did all the cuts last year.
Also, the state did it for you.
So what I can tell you is the increases, we don't meet levy by $3,300 or so, I think, for this one. And that is mostly due to the contract that goes up the standard 3% and then Char's wages as well. So we cut, last year we cut the program assistant, which then we can't cut it again this year, but that was $6,000, I think, in the past as well. The only line I increased was the extension travel line. I know our committee members will note that in the past it's been, this year, it's been already used. And so Carrie's travel has been, any outside of the county travel has been picked up from my extension budget. But also just trying to make sure that that line is a little more reflective of the actual travel for her to make it to libraries and meetings and that kind of stuff here. So that's the only other line that increased. I know sometimes in the past, there's been this conversation about agent contract line, that 211. And so I just want to make sure everyone's aware of the way that contract line works. So there, for any educator that we have in counties, there's that standard amount. And it's really $49,063, but as long as you have one full-time FTE in your county, you get a $10,000 discount. So that's why it's $39,063. And I know that it has come up in our in conversations before that there's a and it's been remarked that that's 50% of the cost for the educator. It's really not. Russ County, most of the spaces are paying about 41% of a educator's total amount that it costs. Rusk, because you only have one educator, you get that discount, so that brings it down to about 38% of the actual cost for an educator. So I know in the past too, there's been discussion, well, what if we just cut that educator line down, and save money there? So I would only caution you that if you do that, then if you say we want an 80% educator instead of 100% educator, then you're going to lose that $10,000 discount. So it's going to save you a couple $100,
Offset.
but you're offsetting 20% of a position. So I just want to make sure you know that before that discussion might come up. So that really the other bigger line is that $3,000 for resources, line 346. And you have to have money to do programming if you have a staff member. So that's the line that I could only imagine really can't be cut either, but it's the biggest chunk. What we have talked about is whether or not we might be able to do some alumni fundraisers or some other things to help offset some of the costs a little more, but I didn't want to put that in. Thank you, Sky. It's like, let's not be unrealistic with what we put in for revenues, potential revenues, if we don't have a history of that yet. So when we look at that donation line, there might be some possibilities of that, but I didn't want to just put it in there to balance it all. I'll maybe stop there, see if there are questions.
I'd rather have more honest, conservative numbers, like be conservative on the revenue. Over on revenue, we're not gonna come after you, but we come over on the expenditures, we're gonna have a discussion.
What is the $200 equipment budget for? Actually, that line, I'm looking at row 29, account ending in 340. Extension equipment, 250 to $5,000, and there's only $200 there. Would that be a minimum? Wouldn't that be a minimum 250?
Well, I don't know if anyone else wants to answer that. I put 200 in just because we haven't used it this year. I think that that's typically for our office equipment, laptops or anything, if I remember right, or so since we haven't used it this year, I mean, just my thoughts of maybe there's a way to save a little there, but I don't know if it needs to be at 250 instead of 200.
So most other budgets that have an account like that for equipment less than 5,000, it's less than 5,000. It doesn't really have the 250 to 5,000. It'd just be a distinction between, it'd be similar to office supplies. So you could zero that out and put it all in office supplies. They'd be kind of interchangeable.
Can we just change the wording on that line and take the less than or greater than 250 out of it? It'd have to be in there for any specific reason.
That I know of.
Might be that way in the system. It might just be coded that way in the system.
Yeah, that's just the description for that account.
Either way, if in the interest of saving money, I would prefer to maybe zero that line out if there's no plans to spend the $200. And then we would talk about, because that would then maybe circle back around to us having to talk about a $200 item later. I don't know. But if we're interested in trying to drop the budget, that's a $200 that I would just chop and deal with the consequences. So line 20, account number 340 proposed by finance is $0. It is
Or
Yeah.
Zero.
0.
you should really have something in equipment, anything, I mean. $200 isn't gonna solve our problem.
No, it's not.
If they want equipment, then we start working on those fundraiser revenue.
Yes, well, there is some fund balance there that is directly related to previous donations.
Are you done hacking that one, Jeremy? You done hacking that one?
I just, if we're looking to save money, really grasping at straws. We're at de minimis amounts at this point.
But you understand, small business startups understands it's the nickels and dimes that get you.
It's nickels and dimes.
Go to 517.
Are we changing it to 0?
Yes. We can say we've done our diligence. We've saved every dollar possible.
So we're moving on to 517 food wise community garden.
Yeah, so that line, committee members know this, maybe others do too, that our Food Wise program will end at the end of September. So I know I talked with Sky about the, that $500 that's been budgeted for that. Under 517, we won't need for programming. I know that other donations that have come in for that, for the community garden, so those should be winding up too. So it's kind of a savings of $500 maybe.
So yeah, we've typically put 500 levy for this budget, cover that program, part of that program. And so we'll no longer need that, though. Marie and I had talked about, she was wondering if she would be able to use that levy from that budget to the extension budget. And I suggested that we talk to finance about that. You would, your thoughts are on that? So essentially you just increase the levy target maybe to increase expenses to or just let it go.
Yeah, I was thinking it might help balance that extra travel amount that I had requested.
That actually would be a good fit. We think we should transfer it to there. How do you want to do it?
It is up to you.
No, I'm asking, I guess, the parameters around what I can suggest. I think we should move it from that other fund to travel,
So,
cover the travel.
if you truly want to allow them to use $500 more levy, you would have to put $500 more expenses into the UW extension budget. Otherwise, their levy is what it is right now. So we either save $500 because they already have higher expenses, or we give them an additional $500 to spend.
I'm liking the safe.
Something.
Because she's already increased that travel line, so we're already,
Travel's already kind of,
that's already hitting levy, so.
we're not doing. We're not doing 513 right.
No. We'll come back to that.
Sheriff's doing that.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have time for her later.
All right, any more questions on from Lori? What we got her here?
Great seeing all the 4-H stuff at the fair. Even the building full of dioramas and everything was great.
Next.
Thank you, Lori.
Thank you.
So we have Land Con. Nick, you're up.
Can I go up here to the hot seat?
For
You
your
can pick
markers.
whatever hot seat you.
This is LCDD budgets. right?
Yes.
It's less hot the
Ted?
it's less hot the more you cut.
We might even have money for a pizza party you cut now.
Did you get the updated sheets I sent?
I got it. I haven't had a chance to look at it though, so what we are looking at is not gonna be here.
That's fine.
Okay, so the ones in the hard copies, is Z driver not funny?
Yes, you will, you
Well, we-
need a revised.
We have some flux in staffing, so I've been doing some work with the budgets, trying to make things work better. I sent an updated version this morning, but we can talk about it. But you want me to just kind of go through each one and make?
To highlight,
Okay.
changes.
Land info, basically, we've bare boned that one just down to basic supplies and salaries. And I'm not sure how that levy target gets calculated, but even with the salaries and the cuts, we're still above that levy target on land info. Mainly just because of salaries. What we did do is we shifted some hours for 2026 to the grant. And that helps bring that levy target down a little bit, or that levy amount. But that is about the best we can do with that budget. For 140, the land info grant, we're on target this year to be under the grant amount. And what we've done is for 2026 is we've shifted our resources to the point where we have quite a bit above what the grant amount is. All indications are that in 2026, the total land info grant will be about 200,000, which is a significant increase from previous years. And so what we had planned to do was to lessen our contracted services to the point where we could make up some of the difference we had, or the shortfall we had from 2024. And so as of right now, we've got about $130,000 that it looks like we can put back into our shortfall from 2024. That is also planning on a next gen 911 grant to do air photos, a new ortho flight, and to pay for our Esri license. If, again, the indication is that will be successful. If it's not, we will have to amend our budget and change that. $184 county-owned dams. Not much to it. Basically, we have to cover the cost of maintenance on the dams themselves. It's usually pretty minimal. We did have in 2025, we had to do the review of the Lee Lake Dam. So that cost is included in 2025. 2026, we will not have any inspections due, so we should be able to stay well within the levy target 2026. $209.61 is wildlife damage. It's a revenue in, revenue out program. Basically, we get billed by USDA Wildlife Services for what they do. We turn around and we submit those receipts to the DNR. DNR reimburses us that exact amount. So there is no levy impact for wildlife damage. 220.66 is the NACD grant that's done. We have no expenses and we did not apply for a new grant under NACD. So that one is done. The tree program, 169, pretty much pays for itself. The revenue that we bring into that program pays for the cost of the trees and any other expenses. And we actually have I believe, a fund balance on that program. So there is no impact for that program.
Fund transfer for this program earlier here.
That was a budget amendment,
A budget amendment.
I believe. Yes.
Did we have, I think we had additional costs for trees or something in 2025.
I remember that, Val.
Remember having the meeting about it.
Yeah, I don't remember what that.
It have been just because the expenditures were more than the 10% over what was budgeted. Ultimately, like in 24, they were pretty close to breaking even. They put in $82 into fund, so they weren't over budget, like, and using levy. It's just that what we budgeted, but the actual expenses of what we budgeted.
It's based on.
So then it had to go.
And then 2024, you ordered some extra trees later, so.
We did have to, yes, we had.
That's what I think.
Yeah, the biggest thing I hear from constituents is there's not enough to buy. They love your sales.
Yeah.
So
The biggest thing I hear is you should up the amount of apple trees you can buy.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, anybody else that has another address I can use.
It's scary to do that because if we buy a whole bunch more trees, we have that expenditure. And if we don't sell them, then we're stuck with it. So it's trying to find that balance between.
We have a lot of land in the county.
yeah, we got 80,000.
You could make an apple tree farm.
We could,
We got an orchard.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying somebody has to buy them.
The orchard might be great for two.
we are constantly upping our volume of trees. And what we've done here in the last 2 years is we've talked with landowners who know they want to buy huge quantities or big quantities and had them add that pre-order to what we buy. So we know that we have 2,000 white pine trees we're going to sell to the public, but we also have 1,000 white pines that are going to this guy and this guy. So we can sort of balance the number of trees that we buy with what we're expected to sell.
On the apple, said, hey, I wanna.
It certainly could be.
20 or 30 of them.
It certainly could be.
A few people that would.
I would suggest having them get a hold of us now because we're
I just told them
ordering trees for next
I
year.
just told them no, but
We got a couple of 100-year-old trees out in my woods there.
And we've already put our order in for next year for trees because we have to do it that soon because they run out. But it's probably not too late. So if you do have folks, have them give us a call. We certainly can get them on the list.
If this doesn't hit, anyway, you're not reducing $2 million off of this line.
The well decommissioning program, basically it's an amount we get allocated to fund our well decommission program. That program pays 30% of the cost, up to $300 for properly decommissioning a well. We generally use that up every year. And in fact, this year we've got about one more we can do. We're out of money on that program. It's very popular. It's a great program.
So it's not going away, right? The state or
It's funded by power line funds.
yeah, the 3,000 comes from power line funds, and then we through our SWRM cap program, we pay 70% of the cost through that program. So basically, the landowner can get their well decommissioned at no cost, up to about $1,000. LWCD projects, 2062. It's a catch-all. To be honest, it's kind of a mess because we have a lot of different programs in this budget.
your slush.
I wouldn't say that.
15 different
But
grants.
it is the place that we put all the different grants and programs that we have that don't fit into some of the other categories. So we've got our large scale trim grant in there for Devil's Creek. We've got a U.S. Fish and Wildlife grant in there. We've had in the past some other trim grants, short-term trim grants. It's basically though a cost in, cost out. So whatever we charge to this budget gets charged back to the whatever the grant is. So whether it's the trim grant or the large scale or the Fish and Wildlife grant, it gets charged back to those grants. And some of them are long-term, some of them like the Devil's Creek is a three-year grant. Fish and Wildlife was a 2-year grant with an extension for a year. Some of them are closed out. They're on there. We just haven't removed them from that budget. Non-metallic mining basically pays for itself through the revenue from the permit fees for non-metallic mines. Sand and gravel mines is all we have in the income. And it covers just basically the cost of administering that program. And we can use those funds then. What I've planned for 2026 is to have an intern, and we're going to go and use our drone to fly all of the pits again so that we can map reclaimed areas, active areas, and report that to the state. The Shoreland program, that's another really popular program. We have the Powerline funds, $10,000 a year that we use to help fund shoreline protection projects with landowners. We pay 50% of the cost for a shoreline project up to $1,000. So basically this program gives us the ability to fund at a minimum 10 projects, shoreline project. And we end up using this most every year, all that amount.
It's all grant now, Nick, or is
This is the county program, so this is the 10,000 from the Powerline fund.
Right.
We do make use of the Healthy Lakes program through the state. They just changed how that funding works, so now we don't have to pre-apply in November. We can apply at any time during the year for those projects, which is really going to help. The problem in the past with that Healthy Lakes program has been you have to have the project lined up and the landowner on board, and you submit the application in November, and for them to do the work the following year, and then they lose interest or they don't have the money or they want out and you end up not doing it. So now with the change in that program, I think it's going to be a lot better. But that's the DNR Healthy Lakes program. 22063, that's just our debt cap SWRM amount that we get each year for conservation practices. There's two different amounts that we get allocated from the state each year. One is bond money and one is SEG. The bond money we can use for what are called hard practices, waterway, barnyard, things like that. The SEG money is only to be used for nutrient management plans, cover crops, and no-till.
Say nutrient.
Oh, nutrients. Yeah, nutrient management plans. That's all we can use that money for are those types of practices. So that's what those two amounts are there, the bond and the SEG. We also ask every year for some money from the Powerline, $10,000 to allow us to do additional conservation practices, which we've used up every year that we've done that. They did up the amount of the bond practices for 2026 by a little bit, which will help. And they left our SEG money the same, which 25,000, which is quite a bit when you talk about nutrient management planning. What's that?
I was thinking about keeping our lakes blue.
Oh, yeah. 22065, that's the other part of the DAT cap allocation we get, the staffing and support. Try to zero that out every year. They did, again, up pretty significantly our allocation for 2026. Quite a bit, actually, about $30,000, which allow us to, it'll help us with the intern for next year. Other than that, there's no levy impact. And that pays for staff. It pays for 100% of one position, 70% of a second position, and then all of the supplies that we need and equipment. The last budget is 164. That's zoning. That's the one where I've been doing quite a bit of work here in the last couple of days with some of the staffing influx. 2025, we're going to be over the levy target, mainly because I did not plan on having to pay out extended leave and PTO balances for the retirements we had. But I think that with what I have planned for 2026, we can actually stay pretty significantly below our levy target. I know that's not doesn't show in this version here, but
Yeah, I was gonna say this levy target looks like 44 grand and your levy spreadsheet's at 51,356.
yeah, and based on what I had reconfigured, for 2026, our levy ask would be 21,433, and the target is 30,919. So
Part of that too,
I don't see that on here though.
with new,
Right, that,
Is that the,
this is the new one that I just redid here.
he just sent
I
us.
just sent this morning.
So it is proposing to lower wages and benefits from the 208,541 to 178,608.
well, that's due to people that've been here a long time being higher on the wage scale and expecting new people to
I
come.
think part of it,
Five.
we talked about the zoning technician being put on hold. So that is budgeted for,
What is that?
here in the one that you're looking at.
And you took it out on yours.
So that's probably the main difference there.
Well, you took it.
Wait,
He said they took out the zoning technician.
in the 2026 though? Is that something you're comfortable?
We're not taking it out. It's still in there. It's just that I think the big difference is the wage amounts are lower. And that significantly lowers,
and that's because of the retirement.
Must be.
Right? The new person was hired
the
in.
new person will be at a lower rate. Both the new people will be at a lower rate.
So you didn't take them out.
Budget.
I think with the exception of seeing that,
Are you looking
we need to bring them back
at?
to see the revised numbers. They're available. For the stay of this radius.
They could depend on if we have. It's up to the chair.
So, okay.
Wondering if we should bring them back.
Because item 690 isn't the most recent update. It sounds like the changes are to the county's favor. Do we need to bring them back in once we can see it? So we can see the back to levy? Or should I just close my file and reopen it? It's been fixed.
We're gonna be going over these again anyway.
We will be,
Okay.
yeah, I would suggest me revisiting this and, yeah, maybe we can schedule Nick to come back.
Yeah.
I haven't had a chance to review what he sent me either to.
Do that.
We'll put this on the next month again and then we'll just have the one to go through.
I would be happy to do that.
And I think
Sounds more formal.
Don't leave yet. I do have some highlighted, if you want to go to your land info grant, but so what he is proposing, yes, it is going to have a return to levy. The only portion that haven't quite addressed is the fund balance. It's still negative, and based on the numbers that you have in here, it's going to continue to go in the hole. You need to reverse that. So
When does this?
this would be page 132, the land info grant. So the highlighted, beside the highlighted expenses, except for the wages up there. So the red lines, the accounts that are in red are what flows into that fund balance. And we don't have enough revenue coming in to cover what is being spent. Plus we overspent too, in prior years. So, I don't know if we can adjust those expenses to the grant and take them out of, that public access.
I will check with John, but I don't know of any reason why we couldn't shift the public access contracted services to the grant
Contracted.
contracted services. I don't think there's any reason we couldn't do that.
And then, the other line is the software.
And that one as well. We could shift those to the grant.
Okay.
I don't know any reason why we couldn't.
So that'd be a net $8,500 back to levy if he changes.
So, yeah, we are gonna shift them from that fund balance to grant paying for it, so it's gonna decrease the amount of return to levy, yes. Because it'll be additional expenses to the grant versus hitting the fund balance. I would suggest that we start with 2025 first, making some adjustments to those expenses in 2025. And because just changing 2026 isn't gonna bring us out of the hole. So I think we need to address 25 and 26.
I will do that.
What about the one down farther? I mean, it's only 40, you got another one in red up a little bit farther.
That's the revenue.
Okay.
Public access, $2.
That's the revenue coming in. The other two.
And I could check, but I don't know if that public access fee is,
Changing or
if it's allowed to be changed. I mean, if we could change that and up the revenue, then that would offset the expenses. So, but I'll check to make sure.
I think it's a total of $8 and it's split between that public.
Right. And I don't know if that's fixed by statute or.
I don't know. We can work on that too, and then maybe revisit that when we revisit the zoning budget.
Okay.
Then on your 226, the cost share program in here. I was, please sent me something, the joint allocation plan from DATCAP, that showed 52,000 in the bond revenue and then
Yes.
25 in the seg. So I changed it to 52. Is that?
It's.
Okay.
And it wasn't reflected in the one that you had, but I had it updated in mine because they
Yep.
had a mistake in their original joint allocation plan they sent that got corrected like a few days ago. So.
Yeah. Yep.
You have our other, it takes care of a lot of questions that we had over the last couple months and like years.
Guys, we'll come back with that.
Sounds good. Yeah, we kill two birds with one stone.
You guys have any more questions?
You had one grant, or page around that. One grant was like discontinuing. Is that on 130 or something?
That ends, and they,
NHCD, yeah.
Just don't qualify for that anymore or no use for it.
They actually didn't have a release for an application this year.
Okay. That was the only thing I had. Was that hold it. Was that the one that was helping with our administrative
It
assistant?
was, yes.
So how much did that change that? Okay.
Well, I think going forward, you can combine a couple of positions and have a plan.
The reason I'm picking on you is because we kept changing that, you know. And first it started, what was it? Had to be 100, then we went to what, 50? We changed the percentage from grant and from levy. Probably better revisit that when you come back with your plan too, I'm thinking.
Yeah, I certainly can.
Fair.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely. I think that we can, we can find some efficiencies in the department, and we can combine the zoning technician position with the administrative assistant position.
If I remember right, that's governed around a motion. I mean, that whole thing set us around a motion that was already changed, you know, once. So stay with it.
I think we can find some efficiencies in the department. And if my plan works, it'll save the department quite a bit of money.
Sounds good. Can't wait to hear it.
So I think going forward, I've got a good plan if it works.
You didn't get burned sitting there.
What's that?
Hopefully you didn't get burned sitting there. Did the spare cool off? All
It's fine.
Thank you, Nick.
Good. Thank you.
right, see you later.
But easier. So stuff is grants, not levies.
What?
When we're going through these, it's a little bit easier when it's all being a grant instead of our levy.
Yeah, it's tough when you got a lot of grants in a department. But wheels were turning about that, and I'm like, something.
Yeah.
Something.
Glad you caught that. Yeah.
Well, 3 years ago, I wouldn't have, but I was kind of involved. It's one of those deals where I was involved in it here and there. So then I'm like, okay. Just got to remember later on. So, yeah.
So we're saying this one, never mind, we'll be fine.
The 132 are you talking about the fund balance one?
I'm fine. No, I'm not talking about anything.
Okay.
So we should have HHS coming in any minute now. They're scheduled to start at 3. So yeah, prepare. The HHS is quite large.
So a little more history for you. There was a position in that department that was fully grant funded.
Right.
Then we had to make an adjustment, I believe. It could go
And when it went to,
not more than 50%, I think, could be levy.
Right.
And now we lost part of that grant, so
It had become more of a levy funded position than grant funded position.
that sounds like where we're at right now.
We're now
We're past, yeah, we're past the
on that
agreement.
with a different.
And it was an added on to help out, and it brought in some programs for land and water to help with youth and stuff. And then the individual that was doing it left. I don't even know if the programs got, Nick will have to fill us in as to whether or not all the programs got back up and going. It was supposed to like help with kids at school, and then on top of it, they picked up that other 40 acres south of Trails End over there, and the plan was
We
to,
bought more land even.
well, they got given to us.
Oh, okay.
So then that was gonna turn into like a youth type thing to take kids. I don't know where that's been since I've been on the committee, but that was the goal, was to put a little hut out there with some of this grant money, and I think this grant money has been slow for me.
The junior naturalist program or whatever it could
It
be.
was just a youth thing for bus trips, you know, schools, whatever. Yeah, conservation type youth program.
and that's the one that when it came to board, it said we're only creating this position because there's no levy dollars. And it just kind of keeps,
It was one of those that kept creeping up on us, and pretty soon you felt the icy hot where you didn't want it. So.
I can't leave because we'll break form, dude. I was gonna use the restroom real quick before HHS came back. We do like a.
We can, I won't bring anything up right now. Go ahead and use restroom.
he
You
can
need
give
to.
you a 2-minute break.
Hydrate.
Getting any of. That's our goal too. And monthly invoices here. The heck, we got two. Elevator repair,
We've been waiting for
two different,
on the hot seat. I'm just kidding.
For real though, where do I sit in these things?
Wherever
Wherever
you
you
want,
want.
wherever there's an open seat.
Come on, Laura, hot seat.
I sit on the floor too, but I wouldn't advise it.
May not be weird.
I'd advise the seats.
Be weird.
we need it for both of these. I mean, they both have the same dollar. Then this one's showing that
They're two separate places though.
this gives the same invoice number up here.
There are, there are two.
Boss, get you this green.
The dollar amount was the same, so I looked at customer numbers to invoice.
We're drinking late.
I am not, I gotta go home and green
Oh,
beans.
doesn't even sound like more fun, Laura.
I'm a cheap drunk, I'd be.
Plum jam last night.
Three and a little bit hurt, but. I get tired.
I remember split up. Or just before I was like, I don't bring it.
I did wild. But it was a tree going for my yard, and every year just.
Wait. And he's like, no, try this. I'm like, oh.
We had. We had
The invoices that have the tree.
for years at our other farm. Now, did I ever meet Jelly? It's supposed to be really good.
The crab apple?
Yeah, she said she reached out. Well, we didn't want to do maybe by then. She picked them up in the woods. Cause they just roamed the farm.
The same.
You play that next? The toddler did get it.
Sometimes.
Everything in this one's hooked up to like HDMI cables. So two are the same.
May know what this one here is for this unsolved code red, 4,000.
The.
Are you guys ready? Know it? What are you cooking? A piece of yarn to you pretty soon. Mr. Wedwig. A piece of yarn to you pretty soon. You guys ready? I take it away.
Oh, geez, me.
Let's go. Come on. HHS. Go.
So haven't typically like gotten into the weeds of this budget before because there are 40-some pages.
Okay.
Lucky us. So
Welcome to your new.
Jeremy asked us to kind of given us an overview, like some of the major changes and especially levy impact. And then kind of directed us to those pages.
That's good. So for today, are we
should be children and family.
going, tab by tab, or do we need to do the 410 to 490 summary?
Right off.
Yeah.
Probably
We could
tab by
start
tab.
with looking at the summary if you want. But yeah, we've never actually gone tab by tab, just because it is so much, but and then just hit the highlights like, the increases.
Adult services and children and family.
Yeah, and anything that's hitting levy that hasn't before or something like that. Would look at the summary first if you want.
I mean, if we are going to go tab by tab, we should just get into it. I feel like. My first rodeo too.
I think the two biggest ones in our department is adult services and children and family services, primarily because of the out-of-home placement.
Which tabs, which numbers, page
Yeah,
numbers.
give me 1 second. Adult services is 463.
Cause I see like we're not gonna be changing, right? So if we're going through, we're not changing the other stuff.
So the big thing this year with adult services is our Winnebago costs. Mental health crisis calls are up. They've increased this year. Chapters have increased this year. We're at more chapters this year in August, or actually in July than we had all of 24 total. So those costs are definitely hitting our budget. Laura and I, when we were talking about what we should budget for 26, we kind of went back and forth because right now already we have, was it 458,000 for Winnebago? That's our current cost. However, with that being said, it is so unpredictable because those people that are there today, they could discharge tomorrow. However, that doesn't say that somebody in the community is having a crisis and they respond and that person has to go to Winnebago and then we're on the hook for that payment. So it is so unpredictable. Hard to budget for things that are unpredictable. So we budgeted for that line for 400,000. HHS committee made a motion to change that to 550,000 last Thursday. So that's why that's at 550,000. We initially had 400,000, but our committee, just due to the being unpredictable, thought we should go higher just in case.
Because that's what we had for this. Yeah.
463. God. Is that also related to, there's a row 20 adult services that's at $500,000? Is this the same? Is that just the expense side? of the same line?
So
There. Where is he talking?
Which line are you?
line 20 is the adult services, community health, mental health, which is also set at 500.
No, that's not,
They're
that's,
different?
that's completely different service.
I'm
That's,
asking.
yeah, that's our residential places that we have, like group homes and
Transition.
Trempealeau County,
Trempealeau.
yeah. And there's, we had a man down in Milwaukee at Roots, which is a very expensive place. So that's that line. Winnebago, you only see on here, it's a negative in the revenues because that's how we get charged from the state. They take our money away from us anytime that Winnebago has a charge because the state pays Winnebago. So,
It's on line 103.
Right.
yeah, that's our Winnebago line.
It's just hitting your.
It's an expense, yeah. I didn't set that up that way. Somebody else did that. I just continue to use it.
Other things to highlight.
Well, before you get away from there, I have a question. Hi, this is Chris. I'm up on the screen, so it's a little different. Yeah.
We can see you.
Still here. So I see that the actual expense in 2024 was 154,000. And then the appropriation for 2025 is 318,000, but then I see the 12 months. Oh no, I'm sorry, that was for 6 months. The appropriation for 2025 is 100,000, but I see it going up to 550. And that's it's a significant increase, which I think is driving your levy target, up so high. Is if this is run through the state, and I don't have a lot of information about this personally, but are there some sort of grants or some sort of assistance that should be applied for to offset this? Because it looks like it's going up 400,000 from 2024 to now 2026.
Did we bond for that last year?
No, there's no grants that I know.
Bond, I thought we bonded because we
Bonded to offset the budget.
500,000.
that it was kind of at a crisis or whatever. It was an allowable or something.
You can use that for like court orders or legal expenses and placements. Like that was that specific.
But wasn't that, I thought last year wasn't like $1 million or $1.5 million we had anticipated for these placements, and then we took out the loan for 500 and some thousand, the bond,
No, it's
to help offset it.
moved in the budget. I don't know how much was actually taken out or used. I don't know that. Because I don't know that that's in ours here. Yeah.
It was 500.
It's 500, and I believe you took the 500 off of the levy and moved that. It was a taxable.
It added to the levy, the allowable levy, right?
What?
It allowed us to levy against the 500,000, right?
Yeah,
Well, you took it off of the operating, I mean, you still levied the $500,000, but it wasn't on the operating levy.
Have to take.
but wasn't the placement cost like closer? For some reason, I got $1 million stuck in my head, or give or take.
Probably had also the children.
So we had a high level of children and family out of home placements last year, which would probably.
I thought the Winnebago deal was driving the number, but maybe it was a combination of the two.
When we budgeted just that 100,000, we were hoping that we wouldn't hit that 154, because you go back not very many years, we ran 30 to 60,000 at Winnebago. We had no idea we were going to end up where we are today.
Well, I understand a lot of,
Those expenses. So Jeremy and I just put the 100,000 in there thinking, let's cross our fingers and hope. Well, that didn't happen.
understand a lot of that is, depending on how many placements, and you never know that hasn't, but has the cost also gone up like in the last few years?
Yes.
Significantly, or is that?
And Winnebago is the state hospital. Also, not that this is probably the time, but when we send somebody to Winnebago, usually it's hours of staff time that are spent doing that assessment. Law enforcement has to transport. Usually it's a second deputy or officer. So just that whole cost of the mental health crisis in Russ County is great.
Would you say that the impact of their hospitals?
So
it does have something to do with it. However, Chris did come to committee on Thursday and gave a highlight on five individuals that were not on our radar. So we didn't know about them. We couldn't get them services ahead of time. These people are there because of their mental health. Like, it's their level of need. We can't send them to Eau Claire because they're just way up here. They can't meet their needs. So Winnebago was the only place that could meet their needs. I mean, there are a couple because we don't have beds local that end up going to Winnebago just because they have to accept at that point. But there were several that were because they really need to be there for safety.
Is what you're saying, since we have that $500,000 in a fund balance, are you saying that hasn't been tapped into for 2025, you'd be comfortable lowering the budgeted expense because the fund is still sitting there? Is that what you're getting at? Or am I confused?
No, I didn't know it was never, I mean, I remember why we did it. And I remember we talked about it briefly as the year went on, that we may not have to tap into it. What's throwing me off here is I just thought last year we appropriated more than what I'm seeing here. So I don't know if we must have dropped that from his original offset with the bond. It must have been how we did that, and I forgot that. So it probably was close to $1 million by the time we were done, was the thought process, but if that's sitting there, we have,
DHS
what was that? What was the parameters around that again? That could be used for
5.
insurance. There was a lot of different parameters, and I don't know if we really pigeonholed ourselves when we accepted the bond or do the bond.
Right, we left it open-ended in terms of just exactly what the statute language is. And I know for sure of one county that uses that exemption for insurance costs. The only concern there is that once you start doing that, you get used to being able to do that. And just remember that still goes on the taxpayer.
Right. But go ahead, Chris.
It seems like if the appropriation for 25 is 100,000, and through the first 6 months, it looks like we've spent 318,000. Aren't we gonna have to tap into that $500,000 in 2025?
Yeah, I mean, otherwise, where else are we gonna cover it from? General fund, or, I mean, that's just how we budgeted for it last year, if I recall, and that's why it was, we bonded that 500.
Yeah, so I'm not sure that $500,000 will be available to offset fiscal 26 if we have to use it there in fiscal 25.
I think we should use it as the original intent. Like you just said, and if we're going to do it again, we do it for this purpose.
So then, and I'm sorry, because I don't fully understand the mechanism, but if you would then bond $500,000 again, then would that not save, but would that increase the levy to where it would close the gap, since HHS is included in the budget gap for fiscal 26?
Yeah, that's what happened last year.
Okay, thank you.
So my thought is to do the same thing again this year. But if you want to really get down to, you want to get cut 22, you still need this to help. It's an option on the table. We don't have to decide that today. But to his point, I think we should use it what it was intended for, to offset the overage. But that's another matter for when the time comes. Okay,
Anything else that you like?
Say, family this year.
Yeah, I mean, the children and family budget looks good this year because we had kids go home and less, expensive placements. I mean, that helps.
Page 474.
Yeah.
474.
That could change easily too, right?
100%. We could take 5 kids into custody and place them today.
And then you use like the different, like you got kinship care and you got little stuffs to.
Depending on where they end up going, yeah. Again, that stuff is so up in the air and unpredictable, just like the adult service placements, the mental health placement.
Well, and even like one household could change it by 5 or 6.
We have a couple families that we're working with 5 kids in their home at any point in time, a crisis could happen and we could end up removing those kids. And I know that there's no appropriate, say, family for those kids. So anytime that could change. But right now, for 25, we had 2 residential facilities that we were paying for, Tomorrow's Children and Lad Lake. And those youth have both gone to a less restrictive placement. So that is definitely going to help the out-of-home.
It's restricted, like foster care type.
Yeah, out of a residential facility to care with relatives.
Available for foster care. County right now, or they pretty much tapped out.
We, I believe, have 2 licensed county homes. There are privately licensed homes in Rusk County. But to use them, it's 2,000, it's more than that. It's probably about 2,500, I would say now. Admin rate just to use those homes per child. Plus then we have to pay that foster parent a rate as well. So using private agencies are very, very expensive.
Like this is what's torpedoing the budget. Just looking at 463 and the child placements, it's, you know, again, first year here, right? It's challenging to accept that that's half of our levy deficit.
The state chose not to allocate more funding for mental health, unfortunately, in their biennial budget. So we were hoping for a little help from the state, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, we're required by, I mean, the human factors aside, right? Because this is valuable services to the county. I don't want to give the impression that I'm not a supporter or an advocate for mental health rights. Like I've had my own issues. But as far as a budget item is concerned, this is a $500,000 budget item that we can't predict. We can't necessarily get any recouping from the state or federal agencies. And then ultimately ends up on the taxpayer.
State makes sure you do something, but they don't help out and make.
Right. And it is a mandated service.
It's a mandated.
Not funded mandate.
A mandated service. So that child protection, youth justice, adult protection, the mental health, providing crisis services, those are all mandated services that Health and Human Services has to provide.
Right.
Positive side.
But there's no funding.
In our CCS program, which is Medicaid funded, it works with that population
Oh, good.
to try to prevent the crisis from happening in the placements. But like I said, we don't always get to those individuals before that crisis happens if we don't know that they're here and need those services. But it is always talked about after. Yeah.
Well, and for maintenance after the fact, a lot of times you try to get them CCS.
CCS or CSP, we're trying to do ongoing services to prevent them from having to go back to the hospital.
Another thing is with the Winnebago, I've seen last year some and this year even more. It used to be people go down there, if they were there a week, That was a long time. We have a man, I think he's still there since late May. It's 47,000 a month. So you got June, July, you know, and I see that more. People are going in there that will stay 3 weeks, they'll maybe be a month, or maybe 2 weeks plus. Of course, your first couple days, assessment and all that stuff
Assessment and stabilization.
is the most expensive, but when they start staying there week after week after week, it, you know, it just adds up really quick. And we used, like I said, if we had a client down there for a week in years past, that was a long time.
Makes you wonder if the cases are more severe or if the service is not as good. That's what I would wonder.
The societies.
I don't know.
I don't know what the answer to that is, but I do know that Chris is actively working on getting
Yeah.
this individual out. However, when these people are engaging in these dangerous behaviors, other facilities don't want to take them, and they're not able to take them, some facilities, because it's not safe. They're just not equipped to handle the behaviors. This one in particular, he's been on our radar for many years in and out of group home placements and things like that. But now he is just to the point where Winnebago is the place that is the best placement for safety, because he will take off and he engages in dangerous behaviors, and other facilities have tried and they just can't manage him.
I don't know. I have family, Jim, that have worked in medical, and nobody likes to keep those patients around forever. I don't, Winnebago is just dying to keep them there.
Well, you wouldn't think so, but
But I don't know.
Really puts my $200 saved in forestry to shame.
So I do have a couple questions. So delivered meals, congregate meals, that's something that Jeremy's always touched on too, because it's not a mandated service. But it is a good service that we provide. Have we put any restrictions on the number of people in the program or anything like that he's suggested in the past couple of years? Have we gotten to that point, or?
That I know.
Well, Kathy is actively working on doing those assessments. She is, yeah. Yeah, she is working on doing those assessments. However, they're very time consuming. I'm not making excuses, but they are very time consuming. And you're out there working with the elderly population, trying to assess their needs, also their safety. So she has started the process, but I think there's about 80 people in the program. So on top of her, day job, I don't want to say that like that, but she has to get out and evaluate all these other individuals too. But it is something that she is out working on.
So they get out.
What happens if we don't pay Winnebago?
Well, I asked Kay yesterday.
They take it, they take it straight out of the revenue that they're sending to us. We don't have a choice.
State takes it out. before it gets to us.
We don't have a choice. And then,
We should write them a letter. We should absolutely write them a letter. Be like, hey,
Well, and I think like even anytime you go to a county association conference, they'll always say, we're trying to get them to give us more money for these unfunded mandates. And everybody tries, but I don't know that they look at it and they're like, well, they're getting by. We can use this money on something we want to spend the money on.
well, the board can do a resolution and pass it on to ask for help with this.
we need to be able to, we need to voice the concern, because at $500,000, first of all, citizens of Rusk County come first, right? Like we absolutely, again, I have to be very clear. I'm not trying to pick away at mental health services. I think we probably need to expand them to prevent crises, but we have to do something to tell the state that it's torpedoing our budget.
It's on a resolution.
Yeah, I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna write down Winnebago resolution for later.
Free counties having trouble.
couple of other things I wanted to bring up and kind of discuss is for 25, we had budgeted to use some fund balance to offset the levy. I see in your budgets where that's on page 468 and 469, that for 25, you didn't budget to actually use it. So
Are you talking like that,
the temporary assistance and the intoxicated driver.
and, you know, Jeremy dealt with that last year. He just said that they were gonna use it, but I just thought you guys were gonna pull that in. I did not know how that was gonna get used. I was surprised to see it still sitting in our account. So when I did these budgets, I went through and did them like we always did them. And I figured if there was some deal going on with that, you guys would let me know, but I did not know how that was gonna get sucked in. So where was that supposed to be shown or?
I guess we would just show it as an expense in those budgets for 25 if we do still plan on.
I don't have a budget though for temporary assistance.
It's budget page 460.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, we don't use it. There's nothing, we don't do anything.
But there was an expense budgeted for transfer to services in 25 of $18,020. With the intent of using up that fund balance.
Yeah.
So we would just put that in and would have to actually make that transfer. That'd be a journal entry. We'd have to do the transfer, but
How about the OWI money then too?
that would be, it was the same, kind of the same scenario where we just budget to use 130.
And I did not take that into consideration because I did not know how that was all gonna happen. So,
So it's still a possibility
Yeah.
to use in 25 or even push to 26.
Because when we started the budget forms, I emailed Tanya and Ashley because we don't use this. And I was like, how do we get rid of this? But it kind of just fell to the wayside because it did. But yeah, if we can move it someplace else where we're going to use it, then we should do that because we're not utilizing those funds.
Jeremy had talked about it, but he was. I just figured Jamie would do that.
Oh, you're fine.
Yeah. No, Laura, it's nothing on you.
No, I believe he did that as a levy.
Yeah, it was, I
When
think he
the
did that.
cuts came
yeah.
through and everything, he was looking for ways to reduce that 15%. Yeah.
But I thought Jamie was gonna do something with that, or I didn't know what.
Should, a transfer probably hasn't been done yet, just to see if we need it, like wait until the end of the year to see if it's actually needed. Because we don't want to take it if we don't have to.
Well, would it work to take some of this here possibly offset these expenses we just discussed that are through the roof? And then take the other and carry that into 26? I don't know if the numbers match up, but maybe take some of that 500. Add for 5, maybe carry that into 26, then we don't have another one. Just a thought. Without adding it all up, I don't, maybe it don't jive, but
I'm looking at the budget summary, like their appropriation for 25 was like a little over 1.6 million, but what they're projecting for 25, and that doesn't include using up those fund balances, is about $200,000 more. So without that offsetting some of those costs, I mean, they're projecting to use more than budgeted. So I think, yeah, we're definitely going to need to use something, whether that's the 500,000 or the budget. Or both.
or who knows, the year and overhead, it could be both. Okay.
Those are all that was all, and I had for you.
Are you gonna tell her or am I? You gonna tell her or am I? Everybody else come in here and voluntarily just came in and cut like 20 to 50 grand within the 30 seconds.
Sorry,
She.
not happening today, fellow. Give me lunch. That's my cut.
Knew that was coming back.
You guys gave me such a hard time, so now we have to give it back.
Every person as they came in started the same conversation.
Oh, we all did. Yeah.
Uh,
All right, so this is my first time. What else do we usually talk about?
We remove like your $200 for printing and $100 for travel and stuff.
you missed the last hour and a half. I mean, we've literally made $200 cuts, so.
Yeah, we did. As Chairman Untershoots has said, most small businesses fail because of nickels and dimes, not dollars and cents. True, but in this case, we've got a $500,000 budget item that we can't predict or budget for, and we have to bond for, so I think that pretty much.
I wish I could control it.
I know, it's
Just can't.
you guys, it's not your guys' fault at all. It's
Hey, don't fall for that.
vital.
Jeremy has come into the same thing. Don't fall for that. They're the nicest. people in the world. You gotta hold it.
You want me to say thanks for coming to work today too?
I mean, I would use levy fund. I would,
That's what we're meant then.
That's
I
what,
would
yeah.
seriously consider appropriating levy funds to do something like, like mental health assessments and like try to get ahead of it. If I thought that it was gonna reduce that $500,000 problem.
Well, we do mental health assessments in our crisis services.
You already do that, right? And you already have enough budget for that, right?
Our crisis services, yeah. It's under.
The thing is,
It doesn't have.
you don't
Yes.
know who to assess because you're not on your radar.
Right. Somebody comes out of the woods. Yeah.
So if I could just add from the chair's point, I think that's a good one because the budget's always a fluid document. So we can try to estimate as we go through this process what the 2025 need is going to be. Look at the fund balances, look at the $500,000, and then see what we could use to close in fiscal 26. And then at that point, a decision could be made by this board. Do we want to levy another $500,000, depending on how, quite frankly, the fiscal 25 expenses shake out? Because you're right, this is a $6.3 million budget for fiscal 26, and there's a lot of uncertainty here. So the more time we have, I think the better off we could be. So those are just my thoughts to piggyback the chair.
Nodding. I don't know if you can see us all nod, but we're nodding with you.
Big nods.
Big nods.
I can see two people nodding, but I'm going to assume it's everybody else because I'm saying, oh, wait, now I see three. Oh, wait, nope, I'm back to two again. Oh, no, there's three. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that it's important because it's such a large number. It's not like it's $1,000 or five. I mean, we're talking $500,000. And if I heard that right, that one person to stay a month costs Russ County $47,000. I mean, it is tough to estimate that going forward. One other question: do you receive federal dollars, CDBG dollars for anything related to mental health?
Yeah, I'd have to go in and look and see. Usually it's a mixture of state and federal funds, and I'd have to
Okay.
look at each grant, and each grant will say, hey, yes.
Sure, and you don't have to do that, but I know that I mean I think a lot of those may be being reduced right now. So that's, I mean, it's just a question that I ask because I haven't looked at your current list of awards lately.
There's a place in Gears you can. No. No, it won't.
It's the ADRC actually went, oh, no. It actually went down.
Sorry, Jim, what was that?
ADRC actually went down.
A little.
Oh, you're looking at the overview.
I'm looking at the overview right now.
Don't pull out the happy dance, because, you know, about the time you do that, why, something will happen, but I tried to be really, you know, accurate, but, one thing is we have that second INA position came on, which of course, you know, adds expenses, but getting more of it done and having it done, you know, not being swamped so you're behind, we get that MA rate reimbursement, that percentage, whatever, however it all works. And so that has helped our revenues too. Plus, the state gave us more money, and from last year it started, we got more income. So I think part that came into play for this, because I looked at that. I get a little nervous when I see that go down like that from year to year, but I think those two things contributed to that. The state gave us more money, and having two INAs and keeping the work flowing good, our MA percentage went up. Hear this.
Okay.
We just got another $5,000 in this
We
budget.
Did Kathy
Yeah.
that this morning?
Anybody got any more questions?
Well, I guess I know you've got, how many accounts are there here?
38.
38. I guess if, you know, we've never even looked at them, some of them for years, or don't even know what's in there. I guess I would like to do kind of a rapid thing. It doesn't have to be done today, but go and look at each account, just to see, okay, this is for this, you know, spend a minute on account so you can see what they are and everything, because if we've never looked at them before and everything, we don't even know what some of them are for. And if this adds up, you know, and some are, like you said, grants, some are levy, I think I'd like to zip through all of them, you know, like minute per account, you know, and just, if there's any questions.
More formally, yeah.
We have 20 minutes before the next budget. Char will be in, so if you want to do it now.
Well, I mean, I, you know, like go back, what's the first one? 416? 410, okay, I got it.
We'll start with 410 and see how far we get.
You know, and just, you know, just to click on them. Okay, do 410. Okay, take a look at that. Senior citizen centers. Okay, you look at the budget. Okay, and what was it last year? And it's about the same. That levy target, that's right on. Okay, move on to the next one. I mean, you know.
You got it down. Take us through it, Terry.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Okay, 412, source newspapers. Oh, that's okay. You got 2,000, you've got, you get some income from that. You've got a budget in there. So it doesn't hit the levy.
Source newspaper paper, that's all like donations is what keeps that going? Or what's the
Source.
Yeah.
Strictly run by donations.
where does that income come from?
Yeah, paid subscriptions.
Oh, okay, there's page.
And we take half of the cost and put it in family caregiver grant, which again doesn't hit the levy.
Okay.
Like 413.
This, And again, this doesn't hit the levy, so, you know, okay, 413, service management. Yeah,
Take that away, actually, surface management.
ADRC stuff, isn't it?
Yep,
Well,
Yeah.
this is like Kathy's.
Why does it still say $127,000? Am I missing a line? I must be missing.
You're on the-
No, I was wrong.
so
You're at the computer too long.
Service manager to run senior services program, Kathy and the expenses. We get a small amount from the state, but a lot of levy goes in there. Just today I applied, there's some ARPA funding left over from counties that didn't use it. I applied for 40,000 to put against this particular for this year, 25. Don't know if we'll get a penny, but
Hey,
I,
shot.
yeah, last year I got all the levy taken out of congregate meals by applying for reobligation funds. So any of those funds that come through, I apply just, you know, I can ask for 100,000. Obviously, I'm not going to get it, but last year we got, I think, over 40,000 between, got a little bit for home delivered, and then they took it was enough to cover the levy in congregate. So this particular one is management. And that's Kathy and other expenses that go into running senior services. So I'm hoping that we can get some of that ARPA money.
And that top line on that one, that's
I'm sorry, I'm kind of deaf. I can't.
the top line on that,
Jail AMSO costs?
was that one?
That was when we did jail meals.
So we went away from that because
We
of
don't do them.
hard time finding help, right? But we're still doing the meals at the senior center.
Yes.
Is there, I mean, it costs us, now we contract and we have a, so
Yes.
It was, I think
Is
it
there
was.
any-
also-
option to bring that back, because I feel like that was a cheaper.
So right before Jeremy left, we did meet with a couple like vendors to contract with, and it was going to be beneficial for the jail, but it wasn't cost effective for Health and Human Services to be doing, like hiring the staff and filling those.
Nobody wanted to work holidays and weekends.
I think more of the overhead was hitting HHS than was actually being, you know, than the jail was paying for it, than what the jail was.
Well, I mean, that's as far as where the cost gets allocated, but as an overall budget, did we spend more money doing it that way? Or spend more money now?
I mean, contracting with Family Restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't, I know.
If it's a transfer their fund, your fund, I mean, it doesn't make.
I don't know what the cost.
My understanding was when Jeremy explained it to us, is what they had there, what they were purchasing for food to adhere to the guidelines of the senior meals was much more than what we needed to do to adhere to the guidelines for upstairs.
They had different standards per the jail and then
Right.
the centers. Yeah.
Availability. Okay. Moving on, 459. Goodness.
415?
Or
15?
It's,
Holy cow, I mean, we'll get done quicker.
I don't have, oh, well, the things are out of order down here.
On yours?
Okay. 415, I got 459 comes after 413.
That's
Okay, congregate meals, this is Meals on Wheels.
No, Meals on Wheels is 417.
Congregate is at the site.
Is that
The
the,
sites, okay?
17 is, yeah.
Yeah, and 417 interests me because the levy there, look at that levy expense.
Yep.
I mean, nobody wants to cut Meals on Wheels, but that's $200,000 of it for Meals on Wheels.
Well, that's kind of why they had proposed maybe limiting the number of participants they had in the program in doing that. So if they're working on that, I see that though, it has come down from what they proposed for 25.
Well, I'm still looking at Concord Meals, that's over every two.
Yes, yes, it is.
Well, more than double. I mean, I don't know about these levy limit things, right, but
Yeah, raw food is, I mean, I think we know that food expenses are up.
but at least, you know, okay, and then 417,
417.
that's the home deliver Meals on Wheels. Also, site drivers,
So maybe we cut some on the home delivered meals, because we expect by January there have been a chance to go through of the people on there.
So I'm hoping that Kathy will be done with that, but also some ideas that we've floated around are not doing like the 5 days a week, cutting that back. But I think we want to determine that all of the participants are actually should be getting the meals and then take that next step if we have to cut back the delivery days and double up on meals.
Yeah, because I know I don't want to be involved in someone not getting a meal that needs it.
Do we want to be in
Frozen
bonding though
meals
to pay for meals?
So some other counties do that, so they deliver like 3 days a week and then they give them a meal to take home or like to
Yeah.
keep.
for the weekend.
Yeah, so we could essentially utilize that during the week and cut back the 5 days a week delivery. But I would really like to make sure that we're just making sure that the right clients are getting served before we're cutting that back. Because also it does come back to safety too. I know we're here for budget, but sometimes these drivers are the only contact that these people are getting. So
I delivered Meals on Wheels. But we were volunteers, we didn't get paid.
Right.
And they cut off all the volunteers and everything when COVID came, and they said, now it's gotta be what, a county employee or something. And so they cut us all off, but they have the various churches doing it like 2 weeks at a time.
Yeah, we hope it's gone now.
Quick
And I delivered
meals.
Tiered.
is that what happened?
I asked Kathy.
Okay.
So we can't go back to volunteers on that?
I would
You
have to look
can
into
if you
that,
can get
'cause
somebody to volunteer.
That's the problem, I think, too.
Kathy said they didn't get any volunteers back.
Well, we were cut out.
probably just not enough to run the program consistent.
Yeah, I heard Miss Terry was eating.
All right.
So is there budget to promote getting volunteers? Or I guess that may be not a Rubicon that we've crossed yet, but if those delivery costs are gonna be $130,000 a year, so volunteers is possible.
I mean, I can have a conversation with Kathy because I just really don't know like what happened after COVID, so.
Maybe an advertisement.
People doing it, churches, people got older,
It's hard enough,
wouldn't do it.
Yeah,
hard enough finding somebody when you pay them to do it.
well, but also
Yeah.
the community rallies around some of these things. So like, I know, I apologize for missing animal services this morning, but we have people that are coming in, you know, talking about how many donations they're gathering, they're putting together events, and they're rallying a little bit around the animal shelter as best they can. Meals on Wheels is one of those programs that's popular, right? People, I think if we're able to communicate the need, would possibly respond to that.
So actually Kathy, nope, not Kathy. Kate, sent me the July numbers for.
Okay, well, I mean, trying to move on again, but that.
In 417, we've got, like home delivery, like repair costs.
So in July, there was 1,705 meals that were home delivered in July.
Majority of those are out in the country.